I do?
I have 2 hours left.
I'm gonna make one more tweak before I move on to the jump. There we go. Copy it over. There.
So you can see that he goes super, super fast, and then he slows down, and then he speeds up again. That's super inconsistent when we want this to be a really, really smooth action. I'm just gonna legit delete those keys. Boom, boom, boom. Let's look at his translate Y, and we don't want that. That's feeling better already through this action.
From here, we need to spring. Now, is that what an elbow looks like to you guys? Up, forward. And then his neck pops out.
We live and we learn. I still feel like it'll be better than somebody who was animated for 10 minutes.
Zoop. Perfect.
Right, and that's what we're here for. Winning.
That's not right.
Yeah, you can kind of see it's like sticking around here. I don't think I want that more in. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I got the velocity right because his feet stick to the ground. There's a tiny bit of slipping, but nobody cares. Yes!
If you put it fast, you can't even tell. Vroop, vroop.
You feel bad for Atrioc? Don't. We all chose our path in life.
Bam. Bam. So he's going to wall run. He is going to handspring into a wall run. That way I have to complete the flip.
Now we're in the jump phase. Comes up, forward, and then joins. Yeah, it looks not bad. His up and down motion follows the curve of a ball being thrown in the air. So he's really getting some lift. Let's just, well, I don't know why it looks so good in slow motion. You go, whoom, boy.
He handstands. He oh, jeez.
First part of the run, we got our takeoff. Now we got our landing.
We got our beginning, we got the middle here, and then this pose got awkward.
I have an hour and a half. There's this weird pop that I can't explain with science. That'll fix the pop.
Atrioc is creating new animation pipelines. Get a little hand pose going. Bending all of these fingers a little bit. 2 knuckles, ting ting. There we go, huh? Look at him. What a cutie pie.
There's the pop. There's the f***ing pop. I found your ass. It jumps. It rotates.
Now we're going to do the landing. Okay, his other foot striking here. Land like this, and then bloop.
I'm going to move his ass by hand. Move it up, down, this over, this over. Whoosh. Yeah, like that.
So he's going to start releasing this arm, catching himself, kicks his arms again, and he'll like barely make it. So this is the hip control. La, 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 la. It's like out to the side of the body. It just makes it harder for me to break. And then we'll scoot him over again. Typical Liam.
Well, I only have an hour left. I'm just going to make him absolutely biff it. I'm going to make him like catch his feet right there and his toes this way. So they're going to, and then they're going to bounce up.
Boom. I'm done. Handspring. Hits the wall. He's running. And he's there.
All together now.
It's typical Liam. Oh, that's better, huh?
Okay, so somehow he screws up his landing, so the foot hits this ankle. He's coming in hot, strikes the foot. The feet up a little bit. Feels weird.
What if I just copy paste everything? Like, what could go wrong? Paste. Step, 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 step.
Pop up. We can use the clavicles as a little anticipation for the whole motion.
I need some way to disguise the fact that I can't do this.
I like to keep the arms close to the body when I do spins. Otherwise, then I have to think about them a lot more.
Just do a smoke bomb at the top. What if I put the cyber gun in the background?
I think I want this lower so that as he comes through this motion, he's getting ready, and then we can actually use this arm as like a little anticipation point. You can't really see it because it happens so fast, but it gives you just a little bit of energy.
We put a second cliff up here. He does a double wall jump. He hits that wall, and now he's walking on space. No, it just doesn't work. And also the cliff is moving.
And this should be higher.
He's gonna look at where his foot is placed. He's gonna keep looking down, look up right before it happens. Ready to jump. Ah.
He like pauses in the air and then he hits. This is too much. This should hit first, should hit second. Yep. Okay, that looks good.
So hits the wall, flips, and now I'm in the same problem. But I just am higher up on a cliff's face. 40 minutes to get in the backflip from here. All the way over here, completely flipped.
And then, of course, the whole end. Shoop. Okay, so I'm gonna straighten him out as he comes through here, and maybe some of the compression, so that we can sort of unroll him when he gets to the top.
Oh, Matrix.
Pushing up on those tippy toes through this action.
And then as we land, this foot down here, is that not? No, it's not. I shouldn't lie.
Yes, look at that.
Why is his hand sticking out of his crotch? Wait, he's gone full exorcist.
Let's get the calves. Drop the shoulders. Up, and then we want them to come down.
An arm goes down here. Arm here. Kill me, Brandon! Kill me! Jumps. Front flip. Bounces off the hand. Hits the wall. Whoa! Whoa!
Yes, look at that.
And then his head trajectory is wacky because it's going out and then it comes back and then it goes out again.
This has taken a really long time. I cannot imagine how Atrioc is doing.
Fix him, please!
Maybe Atrioc just did such a simple animation that he's just vibing.
Please, God, fix him!
He got it done in 20 minutes
Monsters among us!
and just hung out.
Warped his mind and body and soul.
Because the polish is what really takes the most amount of time.
He starts flipping.
Like, look at this. This just little bounce took me like half an hour.
And then what?
Right now I'm looking at this arc on the head and you can see that there's like an L shape that happens right here. Ah, I found the culprit. Magic.
He's going to pause here and then he's going to swim his ass out of frame.
15 minutes left. Whew. Okay.
This is really falling apart at the end, hey? Up, over, that way, pulling in. You should be in. What is happening with this frame? I do not know. If this is any indication on how Atrioc is doing, it is not going well.
I do the flip. It's incredible. There I am.
We're coming up against the wire here. That might be too much motion now happening throughout the whole thing.
Bam. Strikes a pose. Guys, I think we're done.
Atrioc is at 1,000 frames. Damn, he's a real animator. 1,000 frames. Oh my god. Ah, it's so funny.
And I even have 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left. Should I add another foot cycle? I'm going to go for it. Back down this way. He needs to be pulling across. Like that. This way. This way. This might be a bit too high. It came together.
I don't like anything that he's doing in this squat pose. I wonder if I delayed this frame. Shoot. It's kind of nice.
If instead I add a ball, it's gonna be a green sun. I need to like render it. Render animation.
So let's render some animations.
Holy shit.
We have like literally 5 minutes. 4 minutes.
We get there, baby!
3 minutes.
Backflip.
I'm done. I'm done for. He's the real gamer, and I'm nothing. I'm trash. I'm not turning motion blur on. How dare you suggest I hide my beautiful animation with motion blur?
I'm just going to render some camera angles and rotate it 90 degrees. Grab it. Yeah. Look at that. Animation complete. Good job, me.
Life's gonna put obstacles in your way. And if you're not able to be acrobatic and adapt, you're never gonna make it to the top and strike that pose we all know you're capable of making.
Thanks everybody for hanging out, and I'll see you over at Atrioc stream. You rendered it or you play blasted it?
I don't like your tone.
But if you rendered it, it's like possibly a pile of frames in a folder.
It is definitely a bunch of JPEGs.
Yeah.
1,000 images. Render animation. All right. Wow, it looks even better than I imagined. Earth. 20.
Are you sharing your screen?
47. Liam enters the scene. A green sun burns in the background. Now, our story begins.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Oh, is parkour?
Oh my gosh, it's parkour, but it's like the gravity's different.
What?
Oh!
What again? No.
Slow motion.
Bum, 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 bum. Boom. Green sun this summer.
Graceful.
And scene.
It starts really strong.
That's what I said.
And one of the things that strikes me
Yeah.
is how quickly you seem to have broken his spine fully.
Medical technology is a little different. I
Gripping.
made the hand uncurl and handspring off. Look at that.
It actually looks like a graceful little pose.
He has stretchy bones, and I think he forgot to turn them off.
Well, I don't know how to turn on or off stretchy bones, Isto. I'm going to close this out.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That
Thank
was fun.
you.
That was great. I think my experience with UI animation and just kind of doing games in general has helped. All right, here we go. Nice and short. It's 5 seconds.
Oh, that was cute. Oh, and he crawls. Oh, that's
So that's
funny.
the animation.
I can really see how bad mine is when you show up from the front because my legs were never in the right spot.
The thing is that I'm seeing mostly is that your feet are kicked out wider than your hips.
Makes sense. So his foot should be over here because of the center of gravity and balance.
Yeah.
Forces him to be here.
Mhm.
Right. That makes sense.
Oh, he actually
Taught
trips on
himself.
purpose. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then I got to hear it and I was like, uh-oh, out of time. And then out. This is where I was at yesterday or 2 days ago. Everything was going wrong. This was like literally 3 hours of practice.
What is it with the
Everything was
pelvic
going wrong.
thrust at the end? What is...
And then I did it again. This is the second time. Look at this. This is what I was going into.
You're not actually getting any height. You're just moving forwards.
I
It's
know.
so funny. What a gift.
Yeah.
I really want to see what
Yeah.
you created.
So I wanted him to have a little bit of attitude and being like, yeah, I'm doing this even though it's easy for me.
That pose already looks better than both of ours
yeah,
combined.
the pose is sick.
I'm always making sure the first frame and the last frame of your animation are have a storytelling beat.
Oh my god.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Whoa! He's got swag!
Wow.
So he's like, hey, I'm going to do this. He does a little 360 that I only included because it's hard to do spins. And
That's
then
so
I thought-
sick.
Liam might reflect a little bit about how I felt about this. This is a little piece of cake. baby. And then he comes up and he does
Oh, the shoulder shrug.
Dude, this is
a little
Wow.
fix his sleeve moment.
Oh, whoa. That's so sweet.
Well, that's
So
actually awesome. This is badass.
Animation is a lot about thinking about weight and transfer of energy.
Not in my
kinetics,
experience, but
so-
okay. That's
This story is in
We are making a rage game about a man trying. So you can see this whole level that we've built. This is all of our like slingshots. Now we got it working.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So you can see when he flattens out, he's pausing to hold here. We've got a little bit of a cartoony timing on the jump through the air, so it's not a super steep angle, and then he gains a little bit more energy at the very end out of nowhere. If I wanted this whole pose to move together, have the first foot plant earlier, so then he can step forward.
making that step would have taken me an hour.
Yeah, as she was not even paying
Yeah,
attention,
you weren't
she
even paying
managed to make it
attention.
look
Like
good.
that looks cool to me. That looks The last one we did at midnight, and it lasted.
Finally plays it here behind the box. Here's all of his movements. Plays ring around the rosy with him. The stun, does he go for it? Certainly not. Izu, you cannot do it like that!
Constantly trying to make dives, trying to pressure the Galio, and with how much they sunk into trying to get the... Hey! Xiaohu's just walking off! Xiaohu's just walking off!
Guys! They lost their minds.
The greatest to ever do it. The greatest to constantly trying to make...
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even know there was a charity going on. What you guys are doing?
Any idea what you're gonna do with that money?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even know there was a charity going on. What you guys are doing seems to be great. You're giving to the less fortunate ones, so that's amazing. I only came here to shit on TF Blade, and it's a little bit embarrassing. I am probably the worst top laner EU West has seen, and he's considered one of the best in North America. So it's a little bit embarrassing in my opinion.
That's a great
It was,
answer.
yeah.
Any idea what you're gonna do with that money?
Hey everyone, welcome to Camping with Steve. It seems as if overnight, the dog days of autumn have slipped through our fingers and we're now in the final throes of summer. The luscious trees behind me belie the fact that in a few weeks, they'll fall dormant in anticipation of the long winter ahead of us. So, in a final poignant tribute to our waning summer, I am going to sneak into the woods behind this police station and go camping for the night. So when we bought the school bus, I saw this patch of woods, and as soon as I saw it by the police station, I knew I wouldn't be able to contain myself any longer. We're just gonna walk down here a little bit because Well, there's a police officer driving right towards us right now. Could be a short journey. Okay, I don't know if he was looking at me or not, but this is actually right where I want to turn into the woods. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm out innocently walking around with a humongous backpack on in a small town. Okay, so I just ducked off of the trail here a little bit. There's a lot of police driving by. I think there's another one coming right now. I'll just act like I'm filming the flowers here, which are majestic, I will have to admit. But these, I think, are geraniums or posies or pansies or something like that. And that's all we have to say about that. Okay, they've moved along, I do believe. Anyhow, this town is in the Goldilocks zone of stealth camping. It is so small that they don't really have a huge homeless problem and haven't gotten rid of all the good spots, but it's also big enough that it's got some amenities. So that police officer did pull into the lot right up ahead, and I think there's no better time than just about any time now to get into these woods here and continue this adventure in private. So just a couple of civilians driving past, nothing to be concerned about. I think time to go is right now. Okay. Now we should be out of the view of the road, and we just gotta sit here for a bit and wait for things to die down. Okay, that one that drove by was an unmarked police car, and I got the feeling I may have got myself in for more than I bargained for. I can see the back of the police station right there. I'm just going to find a spot a little further away and see if I can find a spot for a hammock. There's a good spot here between these two trees for the hammock, but it's also right there by the police station. And I think it's shift change or something. They were outside walking around outside of their cars. So I'm gonna wander way further away from the police station and just relax for a bit. I've moved back through the woods a bit, but he's still sitting in his car out there. Probably can't see that, but step one is sit here and wait. Step two, if I can stealth this properly here, just gotta muffle the sound with my hand over the can or something. Okay, that's about as good as it gets. Right on, I'll just sit and bide my time until that cruiser pulls away. Then I should be good to set up what I've got here for the night. Oh, by the way, cheers. Right back there. I can hear the police talking. Oh, they seem happy. That unmarked cruiser drove past again and pulled into the police station parking lot. I'm beginning to feel like I'm in a little bit over my head here, and I'm gonna have to move this little dead tree here to set up the hammock unless I find somewhere better. But I'm so close, I can see the glistening of the decals on the police cars. So I'm gonna stash some gear and wander away for a little bit here, and come back when everything's blown over. Everything's gonna be all right, guys. Gonna leave everything behind here I can, covered under this. A little bit of camo. Got a couple of sleeping bags because I don't know how cold it's gonna get tonight. Leave the beer behind as well. roses, so everything's got thorns on them. Looks good to me. I'll take my cameras and we're gonna get out of here. Alright, extremely reduced backpack. Doesn't look too suspicious. Stuff has been stored there for right now. And I don't want to go right out onto the road quite yet. So I'm going to go further this way and explore our neighborhood for the night. While I'm walking through woods like these, a lot of people get concerned, and I'd say rightfully so based on how it looks. Folks are concerned about me coming in contact with poison ivy, poison oak, and I happened to download a beautiful little app. It's just one of my finds. They're not sponsoring me, but I can identify an offending little guy like this, and that looks like it could be definitely a cause for concern. And with just a quick click, it'll tell me red raspberry. I'm hungry already. So I found box elders out here. Nothing really toxic other than some bizarre little berries and stuff like that that you wouldn't want to eat anyways. But ticks are another story. They do exist here, but I haven't had an issue with them, usually because I'm wearing jeans and not shorts. And I try not to do too much bushwhacking, so I haven't had an issue, but they are possible out here. And oh boy, of course I knew there was a golf course close, but like I can still see the shine off of those police cruisers. What do we have here? Great. So the golf course, that's a project for future Steve. Now that I've seen it, I knew it was around. I didn't know it was that close based on Google Maps. Yeah, that's a can of worms I'm going to have to open. Okay. I'm just going to kill some time until the sun dips below the side of that police station, and we'll explore this little gem of a town, shall we? Just walking into the main part of the town of Redwater. It features about 2,000 people. A lot of it seems to close by 9 p.m., but that's okay. We got a lot of time. There's a burger place that's open, and we're going to take full advantage of that, see what's on the menu. Spattering of motels, etc., with good rates and reasonable fees. And your normal bungalows, etc., that you'd find in a small town. Beautiful, quaint, and beautiful. Well, there is a campground here. And from what I see, there's no washrooms. So that is a problem for anybody without a nice camper. This is the place, the Burger Baron. Authentic Texas fried chicken, pizza, and I'm assuming burgers. Good. Could I place an order for takeout? Yeah, go ahead, sir. Awesome, thanks. Could I get a small poutine and could I get a jumbo donair?
Yeah. Beef, right?
Yeah, jumbo donair with beef.
Cheese?
Yeah, beef, cheese, and just tomato and onion. Success. We've got some food. I'm gonna just sit down at the campground over here and chow down on a little bit of it. So a little weird eating before I've even set up the camp, but I've ordered two things. One, it's a jumbo beef donair. My Canadian friends will know all about that. Halifax donair, Similar to a gyro in some ways, but it's spiced beef and not lamb. And there's a sweet sauce instead of tzatziki. And I don't know how horribly they butchered this, but a poutine, or poutine, depending on where you're from in Canada. It's supposed to be not that, but this still looks pretty good. Gravy, it should be cheese curds. This is shredded mozza, and fries. And similar to disco fries or dirty fries or whatever maybe in other places, but not too shabby. I can get behind this. Good and filling. And I gotta eat a little bit of this, wait for things to die down, then we'll go set up the hammock and go from there. It still tastes good even though it's not authentic. Now that was good and sufficient for now. I'll break out this donair a little bit later, but chuck this in the garbage. And we'll find our way back to home for the night. Okay, looks clear. In we go. The police station is right behind me. One of them just pulled into the parking lot. But this should be good. I'm just going to stay really still, and then I'll throw my camo on in a bit and head over towards the fence and see how obvious this might be. But for right now, yeah, another one just drove by there. I'm going to stay perfectly still. Perfectly still. I'm going to find the quietest way through these trails over to the fence at the police station. There. See just what it looks like. The key is to go very slow and be very careful where I'm stepping. Oh, great. Regular bull in a china shop over here. Oh, that's a little smoother. There is one car there with its lights on, so it's got to be running. All right, from here, can't see nothing. Perfect. Just what I wanted. Now, I'm not going to push my luck anymore. I'll get back there. Now from the other side where I walked in, I'm going to see from the trail what it looks like. Just waiting for the coast to be clear here. Okay, sounds good. Let's check this out. Now, on this little trail right here. If I were a wholesome family out for a stroll, what would I see if I looked in the woods? Not a ton, but there is certainly something there. So I'll rely on the fact that most people aren't looking into the woods for stealth campers. But even from here, it doesn't look that bad. old piece of garbage that has to come with us. A very wise man once told me that having one beer is like shaving half your face. So, when his car drives by, crack another one, and we'll fix that problem right away. While I'm sitting here drinking beer delinquently in the woods behind the police station, I will give a shout out, of course, to all the folks that are helping to fuel this midlife crisis with your beer donations. Thank you all so very, very much. I've got half the batch on this video and then half coming on the next one in a couple of days here. And that will get us all caught up. Thank you all so much. Happy birthday to all those who are having birthdays. And cheers to everybody else. Thanks for everybody that's leaving kind messages and such. Class acts. Better not arouse too much more suspicion here with thanking people for donating beer, as I'm gonna dig in.
You know what time?
I don't know what that sound is. Yes. Just like any health problem, ignore it and it'll go away. Okay. I do have a nice little flashlight as well that I'm gonna try out tonight too. Little head strappy thing from the same wise man who gave me the beer advice. That noise we heard was coming off of your normal, benign, everyday dog walkers. So, I'll have a few bites of this. This is an East Coast favorite, which has found its way into Alberta. And of course, nobody can make them right out here. But we'll see what happens here. The sweet sauce is like a condensed milk, vinegar, sugar, a little bit of garlic. I'm not sure, but essentially they look like this little guy here, and looks the part, wrapped in a pita. Let's see. This is a super. They come in sizes like a regular donair, a super donair, jumbo donair.
¿Qué estás haciendo, Ol?
There's one place in town that makes this one the size of a potato. I'm sure they're not good for you whatsoever, but well, those coyotes are sure yipping up. But this one's a good flavor. Not heavy in the poundage, but that's okay. It's the diet donair. This feisty little guy is the new weapon to the stealth arsenal. Right on like so. We've got, shield this a little bit. We got the red light that everybody's been asking for. And that can adjust down, and so I can maybe see what I'm doing. But we got a bright light, a less bright one, and then the red. Now, I got so many requests about the red light, and I'll explain what the problem is that I'm colorblind. So, one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to poke my eye out trying to see where I'm going, because I cannot see in red light. I can't see a laser pointer if it's pointing at something, like, I'm done for. Or the other thing is, it'll have to be so bright, it's going to look like there's a flare going off in the woods somewhere, and I'm just going to give myself away not being able to see what's going on.
Oh, Galio? Oh my Jesus. Dylan. On my
Dylan, we have to go main.
No, we have to go Corky.
No, Olaf Galio. Elside, we're going main, by the way.
Great.
Are you serious?
It's Trundle main.
Shouldn't we just go Corky?
But are you
like,
serious? Is it gonna win us the game?
Of course.
like look, there's gonna be a sign with a million armor.
But he will die to my W instant. I'm saying,
I trust you, Cubs. If you want to go Vayne, just go Vayne.
Just log in Vayne. What do you say, Dylan? What do you say? Huh? Holy moly! Olaf Galio.
Just
Oh my Jesus. We're
sign.
dug deep.
Then the
I wanna go Vayne, just go Vayne. Just log in Vayne. What do you say, Dylan? What do you say, huh? And no.
in here now. This hammock that I use on most of my stealth adventures is the Hennessy asymmetrical zip model, and it's got a zipper on one side of it, and I always make sure that's facing the path of least resistance on the way out. That side is just a bunch of thick woods with a police station on the other side, and this side is the trail I came in on with the main road out there. So if there is an issue and I need to leave quickly, I just casually unzip the hammock and then stumble frantically through the forest in the dark. Couldn't be easier. Well, today is the day to test out these red lights, and I need to be careful with them because if I go one notch further, it goes into flashing red lights. And we certainly don't need that. I'm going to try and wander up here and see if I can make my way using nothing but this red light, which I'm optimistic about. It's not excessively bright. I wouldn't want to blaze new trail with this at night, so I'm just sticking on a trail I know, the one I came in on. And through the viewfinder on the camera it looks okay, but to be honest, it's almost as easy for me to walk through with the moonlight or starlight or the gas station light or the street lights. So this I'm going to turn off right now. It's a decent experiment. I guess it's got some potential. Well, now's that time of the night where I try not to push my luck too much. So I'm going to crawl into this and zip myself into here, because there's still that police car idling out there. So until the morning, I have the right to remain stealthy. Thank you for watching, and see you guys in the morning. Okay, if I don't flip out over my hammock here. Night, everyone. Well, that was a questionable sleep. Every little noise set me off. I didn't really fall asleep until the sun was just about up. But the irrigation next door at the golf course sounded surprisingly close. I'm surprised I didn't get wet. And it wasn't like just a sprinkler noise. It sounded like there was a water truck just let loose out there. Police station, the door was opening and closing. People are coming and going at shift change and everything last night. And of course a bunch of yahoos screaming up and down Main Road here in their cars, stunting and showing off. I guess it was Saturday night. What better things are there to do? So I don't fault them for that, but it did make for a tricky sleep. So I had to pack up and just wander around here real quick. Make sure I picked up all the garbage, make sure I picked up other people's garbage. And there's actually a little garbage can out on the trail there, so I can throw out all the garbage, including the additional stuff I found, coffee cups, and yeah, then we'll go from there. But I will say thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing if you like these types of adventures. I got like a list about probably 10 on the board right now that I just have to hammer out the details, because with stealth camping, you can't just kind of show up and camp. You gotta plan it out a little bit as far as what your meal is, check out Google Maps, make sure you have somebody around with bail money and a vehicle who is sober, who can help you out if you're in a pinch. So yeah, I'll pack this up and let's get the day started. way to do it, everyone. More pristine than when you show up. So, I don't see anything else here that I need to worry about. Nice and clean. It was a good spot. It's really not trashed at all from what I would expect in a bigger place. So that's really refreshing. That's really, really good stuff. It is not quite that time of year where the leaves change color, but there's a few out there already going yellow on us, and there will be more here within the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I have to get this in as much of the stealth stuff while I can, because as soon as these leaves are off the trees, it makes things real difficult. Matter of fact, that abandoned campground I tried to do, the very first 2 times I went out, there wasn't enough cover on the trees for me to be able to camp. But as you saw when I did do it, there's no problem at all. I could get quite close to the families and dogs without them knowing I was there. Okay, so a lot of woods. I think there's the garbage can there. I'm gonna throw this out, and I'm gonna walk down a little bit further to see where that fairway is, because there is an awful lot more to explore here. There is good potential for me. Oh yes. Okay, this has to be done at some point in the future. It is the perfect looking golf course for this. There's no fence. I think it's like a city-owned thing. I can weasel in. There's so many spots all throughout this golf course. And that explains what all the golf ball sounds were this morning. Well, obviously, I just didn't know it was quite this close to where I camped. So, good. Got another project. You got to stay tuned for this golf course, because I've had people asking for it for quite a while, and I just happened to found the perfect golf course. This town is the Stealth Camper's Garden of Eden. I can't believe it, actually. Like, even across there, you got all that land. The park, it's just incredible. So, Redwater gets 5 stealth stars up in my book. And I better get the day going. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay tuned for future updates and future videos. We've got working on the boat trip. Gonna see what we can do. It's gonna be a little bit shorter because the water level is way down, and we still don't have the boat fully finished yet for what we want to do. So thanks for following along. There's gonna be a little more stealth and one project build within the next, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then we'll have some type of a river adventure, whatever that may be. So cheers, everybody. You have been camping with Steve. Hey everyone, welcome to Camping with Steve. We're at the edge of town here today in a new neighborhood with a ton of construction work going on all over the place. And I think there's a little spot that just might work. So we're gonna wander over there. Got the car parked out of the way so nobody suspects a thing. And I'm gonna get this big backpack off and hidden here ASAP. And it looks like it might rain a bit, so things could get interesting. I have found that newer neighborhoods haven't quite cracked down on all the good stealth spots yet, largely because they're still under development. Clearly, fence in an actual construction zone is a no-no, because they're riddled with security, and it's also just plain dangerous and highly illegal. However, there seems to be a good spot right up ahead that I've been scoping out. Where I'm looking is right there. Right on. Porta potty there equals 1 problem solved already. And there is nobody down this road because it's a dead-end road, aside from construction workers. But we'll see how many of them are in tomorrow, because it is Sunday. Now, just gonna wander over there. Looks like these used to be small acreage homes, and the city has expropriated them, and now it will turn into apparently a future park of some kind. But considering it's already listed as a park, let's break it in. Let's duck behind here where no one can see and check things out. Trees are spaced really widely apart in here. And yeah, this was obviously somebody's old driveway. Well, this is pretty concealed from the road. Big open space in here. And not a lot of spots to set up a hammock. And I anticipated that, so I just brought kind of a ground sheet, sleeping bag, etc. Ooh. It's neat, but of course I'm clearly not going to be using that humongous fire pit. There is nothing stealthy about that. And moving through to the last clearing here, well, there's a few rain pieces coming down from the clouds. There's the last row of trees right there. And on the other side of that is a high school. So it is the weekend, and in an effort to look as least creepy as possible, we're going to just avoid the whole school altogether and find somewhere to set up closer to that wonderful porta potty. About the best spot I've found is in through this little opening into these dwarf honeysuckles here. And nice level ground. Visibility kind of only from this side, so I can hang up some camo netting there. And this looks like it'll be a great spot. So with that said, I'm going to empty out what I can from the pack here, and we're going to go scavenge for some food, because the beauty of being in an urban environment is there are resources available to us. In order to cut down on the suspicion of the humongous backpack, I'm leaving most of the inexpensive stuff here under a little camo netting. I'll just bring with me valuables like the camera so that doesn't disappear on us. And a lot of people are probably noticing, this isn't Thursday. What happened? Well, it's probably Sunday now, and we had a severe windstorm for, 3 days or so. And despite having one of these little wind filter things on the camera, dead cat, they call it, it's not made of a real cat, but they have their limits. And I've done this before where I filmed a whole video in the wind, and the whole thing was just garbage. I had to use it for maybe B-roll, but I don't do a lot of B-roll, so I've been skunked before trying to film in the wind, so we just waited it out, and it's a nice calm day today. But let's throw cover on this and get out of here, because I did hear some people laughing, playing in the park probably, who knows, people. Okay, I got that tucked away. Just gonna take a little peek here, because I did hear some voices. I want to be sure that nobody's gonna come around and try to take off with my stuff. But from here, as crummy of a job as I did of trying to disguise it, I don't know. I think it looks okay. I'll just do one final little sweep of the area. Then we're gonna go find some grub. And I'm getting thirsty, so I think you know what that means. All clear, or so I suspect. Time to let the hunting and gathering begin. Well, there's quite a quantity of restaurant options here. But I did bring the cooking equipment, so I'll try to make something. I'm sure it'll end up costing more and tasting worse than if I just got a sub from Subway. But where's the fun in that? I absolutely hate bringing a backpack into stores because it makes it look like I'm going for gold in the World Shoplifting Finals. But it's gonna work for today. Now I've got everything I need for a tasty meal in the woods. All right. Yeah, they got the plan up for turning this into a nice little park. However, I have the suspicion it is going to be at my access to where I'm going to be going into the stealth camping. There's somebody walking around, And anybody around here knows that this sidewalk goes nowhere, and I'm carrying groceries. So just pretending to be on the horn here until they wander on by. They're gone. Time for stealth. I think I am medically dehydrated and it needs intervention immediately. See how quietly we can crack this beverage here. Just like we're sneaking a beer in the basement when we're teenagers. Well, that's a fail. Okay. Mom and Dad would be coming down the stairs right now to see what was happening. Although it's quite seasonable right now, 9 out of 10 meteorologists are in agreement that it's going to go down to about 5 degrees Celsius tonight, which is around 40 Fahrenheit, or refrigerator temperature. So I've got this wonderful new sweater thanks to Tom and Nadine, who showed up at my birthday party and brought it along. It's absolutely perfect. And thanks to everybody that showed up at the party and for bringing step twos and cards and all that great stuff. So what we're going to do is set up this little camouflage thing while we still got a bit of light. And from out here, that's perfect for anybody 20, 30 feet away. That's just fine. And there shouldn't be anybody this close anyways, because I haven't seen a lot of people around. Why do I always jinx myself saying something like that? Of course, I'm not doing a shelter. I'm just going to do under the stars, because it will be cold, but it shouldn't rain too much. And if it does, wonderful canopy of leaves here should protect me, keep me somewhat dry. Lord, please forgive me for my stealthy transgressions. Well, that bunk is sufficiently and stealthily set up, and we got another half an hour or so of daylight. So I'm going to use that remaining daylight time to enjoy the rest of my beer here, and we're going to get to cooking in a little bit. It will be in the dark, but that's okay, because we've got our little light here, and there's enough areas that are away from anybody that we can comfortably cook here without stressing too much, as long as we don't point the light towards civilization over there. It's gotten a little darker for sure, and that aids the stealthiness factor. We're talking stealth level midnight here. Even if I did see that, I wouldn't walk over to see who's behind it. But let's see if I can get a peek of what's left of the sunset over across the edge of the city that's yet to be developed. Looks like it'll be a calm and peaceful night. I spoke too soon. The wind is whipped up. And I'm just gonna secure this. Time for some steaks. I don't mean the yum yum type, I mean stop this from flying around the wind. Okay, there's lightning. So we may have to buckle up and do some fancy camping here. I have no idea what's coming our way because the radar station here is going through upgrades. So the hourly forecast shows a little spattering of rain here, possibly in the next hour or two, and then it looks clear sailing after that. But in the event that it does start to come down a little bit, I've got garbage bags with me for picking up some garbage, which there is plenty, and we can rig them up a little bit to try and stay dry. Okay, that didn't work well. We've got, seems like hail coming down. Time to cover things up. That rolled in quicker than I thought, and it's kind of a big disaster. But, oh my. Because I got this tarp. I got a tarp here I'll put on top of that, and this wonderful hailstorm. We didn't get any storms all summer, but yeah, being underneath of a tree is about the best place you can be in this situation. I'm kidding. However, let me see. What do I got here? Okay. Great. Oh yeah. Now you're camping with Steve. Okay. Okay, garbage bag to the rescue. Alright, we can do this. Okay, we've got my garbage bag poncho on right now, and we're just going to kind of wait for all this to blow over in some ways, hopefully. And of course yeah, we're just gonna have to hunker down here because this is, oh yeah, this is a little bit more severe than I was expecting. And 9 out of 10 meteorologists are incorrect tonight. Seems to be dying down a little bit, the rain at least. Oh my. This is quite the unexpected situation. Wow. It is certainly blustery, and it's supposed to be very, very cold tonight. So I've hopefully got the sleeping bags as waterproof as I can. I gotta try to find shelter under somewhere a little bit more sheltery, shall we say. Let's go see if we can find one. It seems pretty dry under this tree. I'm just gonna kind of stay close to it, as dangerous as that is. But most of these storms on the prairies are short-lived, and we'll hope it blows over and we can get back to the comfy, hopefully dry sleeping bag. So we've clearly had a late summer splasher here, and that's okay. We got food to make. Hopefully I've stayed dry enough and we can come up with a really, really horrible version of chicken chow mein. You know it's good when it comes in a dried packet like this, which says chow mein on it. Now this does feature a cooking package with the chow mein spice. There's actually a couple of them here. I'm not going to mess with that today, but I will add in my own flavoring here. A package of chow mein noodles, which look just like ramen noodles, but probably with different spices. I'm going to dump in a can of chicken breast here. Got some chunks of chicken in there. Stir it up a little bit. Look how healthy I am. I got vegetables. When you get Chinese food or takeout Chinese, not the authentic stuff, it comes with that weird gray sauce which makes everything so delicious. Probably 90% MSG, which is good. This is the one I use. This cumin stir fry sauce. Cumin. But in lieu of the flavor packets in there, I'm gonna go. That was a lot. Okay, so a third of the bottle in there. What could go wrong with that? It's looking like mediocre ramen to me. But the secret ingredient is sesame oil. It does impart a flavor. So, give a little bit this time. Yeah, that's a lot. But, mix this up in there. I'm ready to try this ramen soup chow mein thing. A little different than I expected it to be in my imagination, but well, that's actually very edible. This did a great job, by the way. Garbage bag is always something to bring with you. And I have to say, at this point, I need to give a huge shout out to all the beer donation people. Got a couple of sleeping bags, so that's pretty good. And I think from an initial review of getting into this thing, seems pretty good. So, thank you all for suffering through my hackneyed attempt at camping, and we'll see you in the morning. Cheers, everyone. Oh boy. Oh yeah. I can do this. Good morning. There is no happiness quite like that of a poorly prepared stealth camper that lived through the night. So, yeah, that was actually perfect. The perfect amount of sleeping bags. They were a little bit wet, but I stayed nice and warm through the whole night. Got back into my wet clothes, and I gotta pack this up and get somewhere warm and dry and get a hot coffee. Just like so. This stuff's available from any hunting store. It's just this camel cloth. It's got little leaf shapes cut out of it. It's good stuff. Works for this job. Right on. All packed up. And we got this little garbage bag. We're gonna find a few pieces of garbage here on the way out and take them with us. I know they're gonna be leveling this place in by next fall. This will be leveled and turned into a park. A nice fancy one probably with a fountain. But I'll tell you one thing it won't be good for: stealth camping. So I'm glad we got this done before the park gets destroyed and turned into a arguably nicer park. But see, this is one thing I won't move, is they've staked out a gas line there. So, here we go. So yeah, if anybody sees me out here picking up garbage, they'll just assume I'm completing some court-ordered community service hours or something along those lines. So, more electrical stuff here. Anyways, if you happen to like these videos, please don't be afraid to subscribe. It does help. And if you are subscribed and they're just not doing them for you anymore, I won't be offended if you unsubscribe either. It's a two-way street, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll get out of the woods here, and we'll see you in a few days here. It should be. I'm just going to head back out to the acreage and get this all uploaded. So happy Sunday, everybody. We'll see you next week. And okay, we have successfully left the woods and back into what some would call civilization. We'll see you next time. Welcome to Camping with Steve. I'm in a pretty nice neighborhood today, so I'm trying to blend in. I picked up this suit jacket from a thrift store for 10 bucks. I picked up this guy for $4.99, and I could fit all the camping gear in here. So I'll just walk around acting like I'm coming back from a big meeting downtown or something, maybe meeting an important client, and then I'll slip into the woods when the time is right. So let's try this out. Well, car is parked and I'm heading down the trail here. It goes behind some homes and it's a little bit of a shortcut between two neighborhoods. So for all anybody knows, I'm just coming home from work. So if folks do get suspicious, I'll just pull out my phone and pretend I'm talking on it, you know. Buy, sell, sell. Lay it on real thick so they don't suspect a thing. But this is the area I want to go into right here. Behind me, but there's a fellow up there with his dog sitting on the bench. I'm gonna wait for him to go so I can sneak into the woods here. It's time to go. This spot is gonna work just fine. There is a trail right up there, and I can actually see people going through there. I don't have the camo netting today, so I will be using just the low slung hammock. There's a house over there as well, and it's pretty close. So I'm gonna wait for a little bit before I set up the hammock. I'll let all these evening joggers finish their jog, and then we'll get down to the business of setting this up. In the meantime, I know just what to do. What's inside the bag? Here we go. Got sleeping bag, the hammock, take out of there. Got the isobutane, as well as, I hope the thermocell is in here. Yep. So I can turn this on to keep the bugs away. My flashlight, which I'll use sparingly a little later on. I brought some onions because we're just doing some smoked sausages today, because it's easy and we're working with a super small kit. Got the Thermarest, the Neo Air Pad. I don't know if I'll use that tonight. The less gear I can set up, the better, generally. And then I got the stove, these telescopic wiener roasters, so I can cook the smokies out here, and that'll be good. So this is what I'm gonna do for right now. Just lay low and enjoy a frosty Moosehead lager. All right. That'll take care of the bugs. I just heard a rumble of thunder, and I went to check the satellite here. And we got something relatively substantial rolling in here. Doesn't look like it'll be too long of a storm, but it definitely means I gotta get this hammock set up. And hopefully that'll get people off of these trails, and I can get some dinner cooking before the sun goes down and it gets too dark. Had to do some modifications on the hammock because otherwise I'd be sleeping right on the ground. It's a little higher on one side than I would like it to be, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. There was somebody running through the woods not far from here, but they didn't seem to notice me, and I just stayed put. And a little trivia for some folks. If you've seen my videos before,